Welcome. Class is about to start. Please run audio setup wizard. Lower your hand once you join. Amna, you can go to the four icons under my name and my picture and click on that, and you will be able to lower your hand. Before we begin, let's complete a quality check to confirm that all Collaborate components are working. Please give me a green check yes if you see red record button on the right upper corner. Okay, good. And give me a green check yes if you see a green quality check button at the top. And lastly, give me a green check yes if you can hear me adequately. Okay, good. Thank you so much. And let's move on. Let's try to focus by turning off our phones, closing the door and putting a do not disturb sign on the door. And let's take a deep breath and try to relax and leave our worries behind and begin the teaching session. Learning objectives are that by the end of this session, student instructors will achieve proficiency in designing effective online courses as demonstrated by at least 85% points on assessment, and they will be able to, number one, understand community of inquiry framework in designing collaborative online courses, and number two, apply the three components of COI framework, which is social presence, cognitive presence, and teacher presence to make online courses interactive. Begin with the text chat. Can you please go ahead and use the chat window to write one keyword that pops up in your mind by which you can differentiate online courses from face-to-face learning. Okay, good. Distance, time, yes. Some other components that would make online learning experience distinguished from the face-to-face is less interaction, less collaboration, and there is less opportunity to learn from peers and from each other. However, we can make online learning more interactive and collaborative by harnessing the communities of inquiry framework. This is explained in the subsequent slide. Community of inquiry framework comprises of three interdependent components, which are social presence, cognitive presence, and teacher presence. Social presence is dependent on the social presence, and cognitive presence both are interdependent, and they are linked to the teacher presence, which seems to be the most critical component of the three. Let's talk about each of these one by one in the subsequent slides. Social presence is defined as the ability of the participants or the student learners to identify with their peer community and their ability to communicate purposefully in a trusting environment. Social presence can be promoted by using welcome messages, icebreakers, sharing stories, and timely response to each other, and establishing an audio-visual interface to promote interaction. There are some categories of social presence which have been suggestive of improving the interactions. These are known as effective communication, open communication, and cohesive. An example of effective communication is the use of emoticons and capitalization. They help us in stressing upon certain ideas or thoughts and raising the significance of these in our text chat or communication. Can somebody go to the top option and give an example of open or cohesive communication?
For open, it could be like if they're debating a topic and they've learned about that topic and they all agree to their observations and assessment, like if it's a solution to a problem, for example.
Yes, very good. And an example of cohesive communication? Any volunteers?
Did you ask for cohesive before? Or?
Yes, it is inclusive use of inclusive pronouns such as we, ours, in which the student or the peer relationship has reached to a stage where they refer to themselves as a group instead of I or me. So very good. Thank you so much. So a mutually respectful environment comprising of peer interaction is very conducive for online learning among the students and with the instructor. So let's stop for a moment and do a polling question. I have 3 different options following the stem of the question, and I will read all of them. Select the best option desirable for setting a collaborative social presence in online learning. And the 3 options are stress interpersonal relationship versus student community. B is encouraging the use of and actively participating in class discussion boards. And C is ice-breaking activities which are only limited to introductions. So just bear with me and I will go to the polling. You can go ahead and state which you consider is the best option. Okay, thank you. So let me display the results. So we have almost equal response rate. So moving to the correct answer slide, I understand this question could be a little bit more simplified, but B seems to be the best option, that encouraging the use and actively participation in class discussion boards seem to encourage collaborative social presence. So